Hey guys, Miss Pascal here. I know you cannot see my face, but I'm right above the phone, and I am going to be teaching you guys a new strategy today. So even though you can't see me, I am right here, and I'm going to help teach you the next thing that we're learning in math. So last week, you guys spent all 4 days practicing the mountain, hills, and rocks strategy. So we were using that strategy to find elapsed time. You were either finding the start time, the elapsed time, or the end time. So this week, I'm going to be teaching you 2 new strategies to find elapsed time. And today's strategy is called the zoom strategy. And I'm going to show you why it's called that in just a second. So let me read the question first. Sophia started gymnastics at 7:40. She finished at 10:13. How long did Sophia do gymnastics? So whenever you're doing the zoom strategy, you're going to be making a Z. And the zoom strategy works best when you have a problem that has a start time and an end time, and you're trying to figure out the elapsed time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a Z with some arrows. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write the start time. So the start time that she got to gymnastics was 7:40. I'm going to draw one arrow to the right. I'm going to draw another arrow down. And I'm going to draw my last arrow over. So I'm going to put my end time 10:13 at the bottom of my Z. So I have my Z here for the zoom strategy. I have my start time and I have my end time. Now, this is a new strategy to help us find the elapsed time between 2 times. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to figure out the next hour past 7:40. So I'm going to go to the full hour. So an hour, or not an hour past 7:40, but the next hour after 7:40. So if I was going up to the next hour, it would be 8 o'clock. And I know from 7:40 to 8 o'clock is 20 minutes. Now my diagonal arrow is going to be for my hours. So I'm going from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So I'm going to write 10 o'clock down here because that's where my ending time is. And I'm going to write from 8 to 9 to 10 is 2 hours. So I'm going to write that on that line now. The last arrow is from 10 o'clock to 10:13. So from 10:13 to 10, I hope you said, is 13 minutes. Now, the last thing we need to do is figure out the elapsed time. So I am going to circle all of the time that has passed, and I'm going to add them together. So I'm going to start with my hours. I have 2 hours, and then I'm going to add up my minutes. I have 20 minutes plus 13 minutes. If you want to check, you can do it on the side. So my elapsed time is 2 hours and 33 minutes. So this is how we use the zoom strategy to find out the elapsed time. I'm going to do one more problem with the zoom strategy. All right, Hannah left for Chick-fil-A at 5:13. She got home at 7:42. How long did Hannah eat lunch for? Or I guess that's rather dinner. So I'm going to do my start time over here. I'm going to draw my arrow across, draw my arrow diagonal, and I'm going to draw my last arrow over. So my ending time is 7:42. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how many minutes it's going to take to get to my next hour. So 5:13, if I added some number of minutes, I know the next hour should be 6 o'clock. And I know that there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So if I do 60 minus 13, I would get 47 minutes. Because if I add 47 minutes to 513, I'd be getting 6. So for my diagonal zoom, I'm going to be counting the number of hours. So from 6 to 7, we know that that's just 1 hour. My last arrow is how many minutes it takes from 7 to 7:42, or from 7:42 to 7, which is 42 minutes. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out the elapsed time between 5:13 and 7:42. This one's going to be a little bit different, because if I write down my hours, 1 hour and 47 plus 42, that's going to give me a number that is greater than 60. And we know how many minutes are in an hour. 60. So I'm going to take 1 hour away, and I need to figure out how many minutes are left. So if I have 89 minus 60 for an hour, that's going to give me 29 minutes. So 89 minutes is the same thing as saying 1 hour and 29 minutes. So I already have 1 hour here, and I need to add another hour and 29 minutes. So I'm going to cross out this number, and I'm going to write 2 hours and 29 minutes. So that's my elapsed time from 5:13 to 7:42. So just as a review, what you do is you draw a Z first with your start time and your end time. And then you zoom to the next full hour, and you count how much time is in between to add them all up. So today I'm going to be giving you 6 problems, and I want you to only be using the zoom strategy today. So you're going to be given a start time and an end time for every problem, and your job is to draw out the Z and to tell me how much time has elapsed between those 2 times. Y'all are going to do great. Let me know if you have any questions.